What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another episode of your Detroit Lions Roundtable with DSA. I am your host, Luke G. I am beyond hype for today's show because I'm locked in my house, literally. So this is going to be a fun one. We got a lot to cover today. Probably be a short show. Don't know yet. We'll see how it work itself out. But let's get ready to talk some football. And get into what you guys want to hear, and that is our Detroit Lions. So, right off the back, man, let's go ahead and introduce who's on this board with us today. We have one half of the dynamic duo, real Detroit Lions fans, Mr. Andrew. What up, though?
Hey, what up, fellas?
Hey, look how you did that. Hey, what up, fellas? What you putting your sexy voice on for, man? We just talking sports.
Hey, chill now. I ain't trying to seduce none of y'all. Get that straight.
Okay, I just want to put it out there. All right. And then next up, we have Mr. Lions on the prowl himself, Mr. Jim. What up, though, Jim?
Hey, what's up, guys? Gonna have a great show tonight. I'm feeling we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then we have Mr. 313 J-Mo, the heart of the city. What up, though, J-Mo?
Man, what's good, everybody? What's good?
Hey, you can't beat that. And last but certainly not least is the master of all introductions because nobody does it like him, Mr. Micro Mike. What up, though?
Hey, what up, though, fellas? I am ready, lock, cock, ready to rock. Let's get it. Round table time, fun time. Let's go.
Way too many sexual comments, but we're going to let that
ride. You know you like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. We have a full table today. We definitely going to be talking about everything minus a head coach. I just can't do it with you people today. I'm sorry. But before we get into it, Mr. Micro Mike, can you do roll call for me, please?
Absolutely. What up, though, Kool-Aid and Cornbread? What up, though, Blue and Silver Phantom, Ghost Gunner, The Hook Cam? What's going on, man? Welcome to joining the show. James Holyfield, TA from Noble Sports, Don 19, Chris Cashball, Marcus Willis, Kyle Webb, Funky Nuts, Game Day Express, Trayvon Taylor, Skino Bino, God damn, Jay Stone, The General View, what up, though, Dim Sum, and K-Man SZN. Welcome, fellas, and Lions, Lee. Welcome, fellas. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Let's go.
Listen, people. Listen. Before we got on, we didn't know it, but it has been announced that the Detroit Lions lost another free agent, one punter, Mr. Sam Martin, who signed, I believe, a 3-year deal with the Denver Broncos. We'll start off with that, and then we get into the rest of the questions. Mike, what is your thoughts on Sam Martin signing with the Broncos?
Yo, congrats to Sam Martin. 3-year deal, around $7 million. I always liked him on our team. I thought he was a great pick. He did well. He didn't just punt for us, but he did kickoffs as well. He was good, but putting that ball in airtime, he did shank a couple kicks here and there, specifically the Cowboys game. Other than that, that was a bad one.
I knew somebody was gonna bring that up.
Well, you have to. It's part of the legacy. It's like Orlowski going out the end zone. It's one of those deals where he'll live with you. Other than that, man, I always enjoyed him on the team. He was a good pickup, and I do expect us to draft just what K-Man says, Braden Mann, with the 6th round. That's what I got in my mock draft. Also just dropped a video about Sam Martin. So when you're done watching this, jump on there. But yeah, man, Sam Martin, good Detroit Lion. Happy for him, though. He got a contract.
I mean, Jim, what's your thoughts about this? I mean, obviously we won't have him at the punter no more, but what are your overall view on this?
I thought Sam Martin was a good punter, decent punter, but he's a punter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, special teams is huge, but I think we can get. I think there's a lot of punters out there. That's just what I feel like. I don't think this is the biggest thing in the world. I mean, he's not blocking for nobody. He's not trying to sack the quarterback. He is what he is. All right. And, he was good, but there was times he messed up too. So I'm not heartbroken over it.
Okay. Listen, man, the reception, this thing has been lukewarm. All right. Let's see if we get around to it. J-Mo, heart of the city, man. What's your thoughts about Sam Martin?
I don't really care. Just like Jim was saying, I mean, he's a punter. Like, he was a good punter. I thought they would sign him back, but unlike the rest of y'all, I hold Sam Martin accountable for that 2014 playoff loss. I hold a lot of people accountable, but I will never forgive him for kicking a 10-yard punt in the biggest game probably in Lions history since besides 2011 since 1991. You kicked the 10-yard punt, bro. Like,
Man.
I can't get over that. I can't.
That's like you didn't even make contact on that ball.
you can't at least kick it 25 and it be terrible. You got 10 yards, bro.
It was
Like,
cold
it was
outside
like
that day, man. It was cold.
What you mean it was in a dome?
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
It was hitting the fan, man, on all fronts.
They had the air conditioner on high, man. Jesus.
Man, I don't know. I feel like somebody called him and was like, "Yo, we got your family. You better not punt this ball." And
Wow.
all right.
Wow.
But he was very solid. One of the better punters we've had. I know him and Stafford are basically like best friends. I mean, he was good for the team for like a locker room type of perspective, but he wasn't the greatest player ever, and he kicked a 10-yard punt. And like, I can't.
I hear that. Now, Chris Cashball, he says that last video, Luke, well, that's you messing with us because you can't get Mike riled up on Dion Lewis anymore. Still love you, my friend, but I had to ask. No, I was dead serious. That last video I dropped was to get the people to think and ask questions that they were refusing to ask. So that's what that video was. And I noticed it ticked a lot of people off. But the reality is, for all the people ticked off, there's a lot of people who support what that video was supposed to do and understood the questions that I asked. Mr. Andrew, come on. Bring the beat up a little bit. Lions lose, punter Sam Martin. What are your thoughts?
If you want a positive aspect on this, there's not really that many positives. Like, yeah, we saved on some cap money. There's a positive for you. I mean, I don't think a punter in any aspect should ever get paid, anything more than a rookie deal. There's so many punters coming out of college that you can pay super cheap that can do just as good as any of the punters in the league. I want hang time and I want distance. That's, and accuracy. That's all you need. 3 things. It's not that hard. You're kicking, and Sam Martin pissed me off beyond belief in that playoff game. So J-Mo, I am with you. Of all players on your team, someone that made one of the most critical errors was the punter. Come on, man. Like, I would have got rid of him a couple of years ago. He's been on the decline anyways. He's had one good season since then. So, I mean, I'm straight on it. I'm sorry, Luca. I can't be that positive.
Well, it's all good because I'm on the other end of this because I believe that not only do the Lions should have re-signed this guy, I hate that he's gone. I just remember the punters we had before him. I don't even think the ball even went 20 yards with most of them. And the truth is, yes, he's had his one mistake. Who on this team hasn't? Stafford has thrown 4 interceptions in the game. We still love him. Slay has been burnt and cooked left to right. We were still loving him.
Chill.
It's not the playoff, though.
We still love him. All I'm saying is this. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I look at it and I say, this is a guy that they probably should have did a little bit more to keep. Now, Craig Jockman says, yo, Luke G, what do you think of Jamie Collins' confidence heading into 2020 season? I think it's good political talk, and that's what they're supposed to say. They're going to, if you're not coming into it to talk like that, then why you here? Everybody who come in got good things to say. I mean, Devin Kennard talks so highly of us. Where he at? Oh, he's not on this team no more. So I don't care about the confidence level that he's coming in with. He's going to have to show it on the field as well as other people. Now, let's get into it, people, because we got a whole lot of gravy to go with this meat and biscuits. We clearly are still in the offseason, so let's start off with you, J-Mo. What has been your favorite move so far this offseason?
I mean, I guess the guy we were just talking about getting Jamie Collins, because it's not like he's all world, but he's an above average linebacker, and we need good linebackers, and he does have that championship pedigree. And I do think he can help the defense because he knows the defense. And I'm not gonna get mad at getting more champions on the team if they can actually play. I know him and Trey Flowers are for the Patriots, but they can actually play. I mean, like, this is one of the most underwhelming free agencies for me in a while. Like, I almost said Nick Williams is a defensive tackle. Like, that's how bad it is. But Jamie Collins, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I see, look, they got questions. How is Jamal Agnew still a Lion? Who's replacing him at the kick returner spot? And that's how he's still a Lion. Until they do that, then that's where it comes in at. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where, you know, I can see your point, J Mo, in talking about Collins as being your favorite move. But for me, the favorite move that I have been looking at and that I honestly think made the most sense was just simply them bringing back those small-time players like a Miles Killebrew, those free agents who can help out on special teams and still contribute to this defense in case of emergency. And the fact that they let Tavon Wilson walk, those are my favorite moves because I just couldn't do it no more. Tavon Wilson was not going to do it. I was not going to be the person to take this team over. And the fact that they brought in so many safeties tell me he won't be back. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Jim, what has been your favorite move this offseason so far?
I think it's the Danny Shelton move because they bring him in at a cheap price. He's a plugger. He's somebody we really needed in the defense. I think he's going to be really pretty good defensive tackle for the amount of money and the contract he got. It was a really good signing for me.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, he's cheap, gonna take up space, should free linebackers up. I can see that. Mr. Micro Mike, what has been your favorite move so far this offseason?
My favorite move so far is to tell you guys on Thursday, the roundtable is going to be on Jim's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you have not subscribed to his channel, I see there's 49 in the chat. Please do so. You're going to miss out. He is in the rotation now to do roundtables. We will be on his channel Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Now, when it comes to the Detroit Lions, now this one's interesting. This is a twofold. My favorite move was not signing a running back. And that running back specifically is Dion Lewis. Because I would flip my damn lid if we would have signed that guy. And I want to thank the New York Giants for signing him. But what this tells me is the Lions are going to hit the running back position in this draft, and that extremely excites me. There's a couple of running backs that we are going to attack, probably in the second round, maybe late first round, probably second round, though. And we'll finally have a legit running game. And so even though it was not a signing in free agency, it tells me that we are going to go ahead and sign one. So that extremely excites me, and it should excite you guys out there. We've not had a running game in forever, and now it looks like we possibly can add some talent to that backfield and continue to run the football.
And it's hard for you to argue with that because you're right. It gives us opportunity for things to happen. I believe that they did re-sign, or at least they tendered Bo Scarborough. I think they did.
And he's great. I love Bo Scarborough in the running back backfield, but we do need another individual just in case of injury because we can't sit on Kerryon Johnson. If he gets injured again this year, we're effed, and we don't need to get that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. Andrew, I mean, so far the offseason, although we are still in it, what has been your favorite move so far?
So I haven't been on in a while, man. And I want to say I love all the Patriot signings. And hear me out, okay? Before, I was so sick and tired of, here's another Patriot player. Here's Patriot ties. Here's that. Here's that. But when you look at what the Patriots did defensively last season, they had the number one defense. We snagged 3 of their starters, Danny Shelton, Jamie Collins, and Harmon. And I'm saying Harmon's a starter because he played just as many snaps as Diggs has been playing. You know, I read an article about that, and Diggs and Harmon are very similar in production. Harmon's cheaper. He's had more interceptions. Jamie Collins, I wasn't the biggest fan of his contract, but overall his production is still at the top, in comparison to everyone else that was playing on the Patriots. Had 7 interceptions, had like 6.5 sacks. He's able to cover in the passing game. And Danny Shelton was their starting nose tackle. And we needed a nose tackle, so we were able to replace Snacks and, potentially Ashawn. and we need an upgraded linebacker, especially in the passing game. And like you've been saying, Luke, we need a safety. We need a smart safety. And Jerron Harmon plays a lot of cover one safety. So it's nice to have a safety that can play that. And if we do have, 3 safety sets, which we were very effective in even before Matt Patricia came in, when we had Terrell Austin, it's nice to have Harmon, on top of potentially still getting Isaiah Simmons or someone. So I'm ecstatic about those 3 signings. They're 2 of them. Okay. Harmon is like 29 years old. For a safety, you don't need to be super young. You need to be smarter than you need to be athletic at the safety position. And then Jamie Collins he's been great since he's came into the league. He's had 1-2 off seasons, but his most productive season was last season. And then Danny Shellen, we signed him for nothing. So even if he doesn't pan out, that contract is barely anything. So I'm ecstatic about all those Patriot players we brought in.
I wasn't expecting you to have that well thought out of a statement, but I'm with you.
Luke, I come spitting facts, man. I have so much I wanted to say about that.
I think the logic in which you posed was perfect there. I think they definitely do need a safety. I think they still take another safety, and I think that they still take Isaiah Simmons too, because they're going to be able to rotate that guy in and out of the safety linebacker spot. So it creates problems. But you said that really well. So, hey, kudos to you. What can I say? I can't knock the hustle on your view on that. So, bravo and kudos to you, man. I hats off. So let's talk about this though. What players should the Lions have re-signed, Jim? Let's talk about it. Like, of all the players that they let walk or that's still out there, who should they have re-signed?
I would have liked to have seen him. I probably ain't popular, but Graham Glasgow for me.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay.
I honestly think it would have been a more solid offensive line. The guy doesn't get hurt a whole lot. He's consistent. May not be great. I'm not going to say he's great, and he may not be worth all that money. But who do we have right now?
Oh, that's a good point. Very good point. We gonna pray about it? Is that a good answer?
That's about what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a Bushi in there. That sounds good,
right? I mean, we did sign him back. We did sign him back. So, yeah. I mean, all right, Mike. I mean, what player that you look at and you go, man, we should have re-signed that guy and cap him?
I'm gonna go ahead with Jim as well. I thought Graham Glasgow, obviously not the price that it received for the Denver Broncos, but again, he has the flexibility to play center as well as guard. He can play the other guard position. The guy is very flexible on this offensive line. Currently, our depth is subpar, to say the least, and I think he would have done well on this line. Now, though, with that said, I do believe they're going to upgrade the offensive line in this draft. But again, as of right now, our depth is not looking too good, and it would have been nice to keep him, but not at the money he received with the Denver Broncos.
All right. I'm okay. For me, the person that I wish that they would have re-signed was literally Sam Martin. And to me, it makes the sense to keep that punter, because the one thing that I'm noticing right now with this Detroit Lions team is we do a lot of punting, and for the most part, we did. But for the most part, he has been able to put that ball down there. Yes, he's had a few miscues, but now when I look at the punter that we got left on the roster, I'm like, see, it's more than just kicking it with hang time and kicking it far. What if I need you to put it in the corner? What if I need you to get it to spin and bounce back so that it doesn't go in the end zone? We don't want to play around with the kicking game at this point. Then again, maybe we do, but I just, I wish we would have capped him. And I agree with Jim. I wish we would have capped Graham, because at least I know with Graham what I'm getting. These other people, what are we gonna do? Joe Dow? We gonna live our best life with Joe Dow? What are we gonna do with that? So
he's already the other guard.
Right. It's crazy. So J-Mo, who's the player that you wish that they signed?
Graham Glasgow. And I don't even like Graham Glasgow, to be honest with you. I never have. I've probably been the lowest on him out of like anybody I know, because I don't think he's that good. I just think he's a little bit slightly above average, but his versatility, continuity with the guys, and then the fact that, if we lose a center, mainly center, because like that's like if Ragnar was get hurt, we have somebody that's extremely reliable at center, and most teams can't really say that. And I thought, regardless of what happened, that would have been an advantage. And considering the guys we lost in free agency, I thought that you put him right at right guard, then you don't have to spend an extra pick on a lineman, and you can get another defensive player. But I'm not paying him that money. But we should have found a way to keep him on the team with a team friendly deal.
I mean, let me show y'all how crazy this is, and it's what you said, J-Mo, that had me to do this, because I had to think about this earlier today. Y'all realize this, that the Lions currently have a total of 74 players on the roster signed, or at least on the roster, right? And they are ranked 6th in available cap space with 31 million and some change, right? They're ranked 3rd in the money that they spent on free agents. And that's only 11 free agents that they're signed. Well, now 12 if you add Obuchi in. So they're still 3rd. Nobody has signed more free agents this offseason than the Lions. You had 2 teams who signed 10, but as of right now, we have 12. Now, in terms of money that's going to pay out per year, they're 22nd. And as far as the total guarantee money that's going to be paid out from their contracts, they are 4th. And in terms of the guarantee money, full guarantee that they have for the players, they are 3rd. Now, what does all this mean when we get to this last piece? The most money spent in terms of most money spent on their players for the first year contract, they are 1st. And what that tells me is they had money to keep some of these people. But the argument is going to be that some of these people were soft or didn't fit in with the system or didn't fit in with the culture or wasn't buying in. But I didn't get that vibe from Graham Glasgow. In fact, he wanted to stay. It's just that you're right, to be able to keep somebody like that and limit the damage. I think it's bar none. But just thought I'd put that out there in terms of it. Andrew, who's that player that you think that we should have re-signed?
None of them. I honestly don't think we should have signed any of them. And I know you guys are all saying Graham, and like, don't get me wrong, I like that he can play center and guard, but the dude was not that great. I mean, he literally got benched this year. Like, I think people are not realizing that he got benched for multiple games this year. So I don't know if it was because he was hurt. I don't know if it's because they already knew they weren't going to re-sign him or what. But like, he wasn't that great. He wasn't able to establish our run. Guards are the most important in establishing run. And he wasn't able to do that crap because our run game was abysmal, And I don't know. I don't think anyone that left our team since the end of week 17 is anything that we need to boo-hoo or cry over. I think every single one of them needed to go, and I wasn't willing to pay any of these guys bigger contracts because they weren't doing enough to begin with to get one. That's why a lot of them are not getting a lot of attention in free agency, or, their contract was kind of crap with whatever team they went to, none of them are that great. I think people really overlook the fact that, man, Graham was pretty good for our O-line. No, you're blinded by the fact that our O-line is not that great to begin with, so it overshadows it. So I'm happy. I don't think we should have re-signed any of those guys, and I'm happy that we didn't.
Yeah. I mean, God damn, Andrew, you on fire today. I mean, I follow your logic. I'm a logic-based person. Give me the logic behind why something is or why it's not. I can follow it. You make some good points. It's hard for me to argue with you on any of the points that you made because they make sense. So, hey, kudos to you. Don 19 says, anybody want Logan Ryan? Let me know if I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm going to say this clear. No, absolutely not. No. No. Why? You have people on this team who's been here for 2 seasons. Give them a shot. You have people on the team that's been here for 4 seasons. Give them a shot. Give the Mike Forrest a shot. Give the Marty Warriors a shot. Give those young guys a shot. I don't want to keep bringing in people just praying to God that we can do some things. And then he on top of that, he want 15 million. I got 15 million reasons why he can't be here.
Yeah, not for that much, man.
No, 29-year-old corner.
I think Mike Ford does deserve a shot because he's been solid since his rookie year. He's been great, but he's been solid whenever we put him out there. That Chiefs game, we kind of threw him out to the fire, and he played amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It says statistically speaking. Oh, it says preach, bro. Statistically speaking, every free agent Quinn added was an upgrade over everyone Detroit lost. Okay, hey, listen,
facts, bro. Facts.
Listen, I told you I might be in the minority because I don't feel like we really upgraded because I have reason to believe that I put it like this, like I can give a person a gun, don't mean they know how to shoot it. So I look at it like that. But I ain't mad at the logic on it. Now I know I ain't missed nobody on that question, but let's get into this thing. Do y'all okay? Let's start with this. Do y'all think the Lions missed a golden opportunity to improve the offense further in this free agency? Let's start off with you, Mike.
The only thing I possibly could see them have done better on this offense was upgrading the offensive line and somehow got a guard at the position. Obviously, Joe Tooney was franchise tagged, but there's ways that they could have made a trade or anything like that. When it comes to the running back position, in all honesty, I was hoping that we would not pick anything up because I am ready to move to the draft to really get position of need when it comes to running back position and other spots. When it comes to wide receivers, no one I really wanted besides that. I mean, the guy that got traded from the Texans to the Arizona Cardinals, they got fleeced. But the Lions, the odds of that happening to us are extremely rare, and there's 30 other teams that wish that happened to them. So when it comes to this offense, legitimately, I'm just ready for the NFL draft to upgrade the rest of the positions on offense and defense. I think we've done enough in free agency. To me, I think there's not really a player that would have done enough unless you break the bank for a Cooper or anything like that, but I'm ready for the draft, man. Let's go to the draft. Let's upgrade the offense, skill players that we need in this draft in what, 23 days in 29 days.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we almost there. We got Mr. Terry Star. What up, though? He says, what about Trent Williams? Listen, if we were starting the first NFL AARP squad, go get him. Go at him. Bring him on. This dude cannot stay healthy. And I don't know if they released him yet or not, but I know he was told he can look for a trade. And it is what it is. Dolo Dynamite says, Matt gotta go, period. I want solid. I always pronounce this dude's name wrong. The defensive coordinator from San Francisco. Listen, I told you I don't really want to talk about no coaches because people, man, they was on that video like it was poop and they were flies, man. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm just giving you food for thought, but hey, it is the reality. But what say you, Andrew? I mean, do you think they missed a golden opportunity to upgrade the offense further?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are talking about the cap space, and given, it hasn't really updated and we still have to sign draft class, Kenny Galladay, whatever. But with that extra money, we could have easily brought in Jack Conklin, which pissed me off because we need a good tackle. Okay. I mean, the guy was a part of a team that went to the playoffs. They were dominant in the run game, all this stuff. So why wouldn't you bring him in and establish that right side a little bit more? Because Rick Wagner sucks. We don't really know what we got with Big V yet. I'm optimistic because he's able to establish protection in the run and kind of push the pocket a little bit. But why wouldn't you rather get Jack Conklin and spend a little bit more and potentially just bring Big V into guard? So I think, we missed out on the opportunity to kind of bolster our line, and that was the only real concern I have as far as the offense. Yeah,
I agree with you from this standpoint that while I know that the defense sucked, I thought that there were still some moves that could have been made, and not because of their names, but because that I think that this team could have put more emphasis to elevate the offense a little bit further. But that just leads me to believe that we're going to do a lot of work in places like the draft and after the draft to fix those problems. Now, the general review says, do we still have Michael Jackson, the cornerback from Miami? Yes, we do. He is still on the team. He is part of that 74 roster that we have, which is funny because y'all think that we got 74, and I believe we got 9 draft picks. So you might as well just chalk that down. They're going to probably trade about 2 or 3 of those picks, so we're going to get 6 more players. And then they got to get all the way down from like 76 all the way down to like 53. So it's going to be a fun cut season. But what say you, Jim? Did the Lions miss out on a grand opportunity to improve this offense further in free agency?
Yeah, I think they did. And I got to go with my guy over there about Jack Conklin. He's only going to turn 26 in August. He went to Michigan State, so he has Michigan ties. I mean, yeah, it would have been a lot of money, and I agree with that. But that's a solid tackle for years to come. And I, for the life of me, I don't understand why they didn't do that.
Yeah. Money, drugs, I don't know what. Maybe they didn't feel like it was in the cards or something. I don't know, but I do know that it's you would think that it's something that they would explore, and I guess not. I honestly don't guess not. So it is what it is. But I wouldn't do it. Now let me make sure. I hope I ain't miss nobody on that question because I'm paying attention. I'm doing 2 things while making sure that I actually log out because I'm technically still at work, people. So my dedication to y'all who are locked in the house is real. So just know that I'm here for you, even though y'all got to be put in house arrest for a little bit. So I'm officially off the clock. So yay, I can shut this down. Now, let's have a little fun, people, because now I don't got to be looking at no boards. When we talking about this Detroit Lion team, and obviously everybody's locked up because of this freaking COVID-19. Okay, how does the possibility of no mini camp affect the Detroit Lions this year due to the coronavirus? Let's start off with you, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you're being limited on practice time or, scouting time, anything like that, it's going to set you back. But the good thing is that we're usually not that prepared to begin with. So if anything, it's giving us an advantage because other teams usually are coming prepared into the regular season. So I'm not really worried about it. We had some we had some changes as far as people that are going to be starters. But a lot of them are already familiar with Patricia. They already know the system. So in that aspect, I'm not worried. I don't think it's going to set us back at all.
Okay. J-Mo, how does this possibility of no mini cap affect the Lions, with the coronavirus being in play?
I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with Andrew here. I think it's going to affect us heavily, and I'm not happy about it because our team – we aren't anywhere. We were just 3-12. We need every day of practice we can get. You just brought in a lot of new guys, like you said, 11 new guys. I know some of them know
12.
The 12. Some of them know the system, but they don't know our culture. They don't know nothing about the Lions. They don't know nothing about the team. You get all those nuances and all of those kinks, so to speak, out of in minicamp, that's what you do. And then, with offense, we're in year 2 of the offense. It would be nice to get some continuity. Then you got young players that's not going to have minicamp their first season in the NFL. Minicamp is mainly for them rookies to, learn what's going on and how we're going to do things, and not having our rookies, do that. I know other teams will have it just like us, but for us, it's much more serious. I just said we were 3-12 last year. So we need all the help we can get, and less practice time. I can't understand why less practice time would be a plus for us. It's definitely a minus, but we'll see how they adapt to the situation.
Okay, listen, I ain't mad at you, Mr. Micro Mike. COVID-19 out here in these streets, man, just changing the way we live.
When I was contemplating this question, I decided, what does history show when it comes to a situation such as this? In 2010, we went 6-10. The next year, the NFL had a lockout. And what occurred after that is the Lions, they did do little mini practices by themselves, but they came out strong and was 5-0 and came out as a team that was much better prepared compared to other teams in the NFL, in my opinion, when they were starting out. And one thing that I noticed that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn is they hit players that understand Matt Patricia's system. If you looked at the players that they got, predominantly the players are on defense under the system that they already know. So now they're going into a situation where they understand the play calling as well as the system. They obviously are not in co-op with the individuals on the team that was there last year, but predominantly the offense is going to be the same, with the middle, with little kinks here and there. When it comes to the right tackle, obviously the right guard, and possibly getting another running back. But if you look at the positions that they're going to be taking early in this draft, there are positions that I think they can adapt fairly fast, except for cornerback. We're going to obviously need a defensive tackle. We're probably going to get another end. And if you're talking about a right guard as well as a running back, these positions, they can adapt fairly well as rookies. So I believe that actually the Lions have a leg up compared to other teams just because the predicament that they were in 2011, and it done well with the individuals that they picked up understanding the system.
I mean, y'all on fire today. Y'all listen, y'all. Whoo, boy, you look, these well thought out answers are scaring me. I see this was different from like how last week. You remember when we gave J-Mo for this well and he gave us like a full hour and a half ceremony? And we J-Mo like, hey, watch yourself. I'm just saying, but no, I mean, you make a very good point there. I mean, and to me, I don't know how they're going to come out with it, but I think that it does affect them. I think that the no mini camp affects them because it's kind of like the light way of introducing college players to get the nerves out. And if you're just going to have to come and find other ways to do it, where they got to go, and work out with people that they may idolize. Like if you're a receiver and your favorite receiver was like Calvin Johnson, and now you're being told, hey, go and work out with Calvin, you're going to be there like, oh man, this is Calvin Johnson. So I feel like you want to kind of get them into the atmosphere to kind of get them used to it. It's kind of like that pre-warm up for what's to come. And I think that makes the most sense. And if they do that, then good. But what say you, Jim? I mean, how do you think this affects us?
I think it's going to affect us in a good and a bad way. Let me give you the reasons why. Number one, if they ain't getting together to practice, ain't nobody getting hurt.
That's true. That's a good perspective.
But on the other hand, we have a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, including the draft. And I think it's going to affect our timing and our rhythm, and especially, to be honest, especially on that defense. Even though that those people have come from that system, they're going to be adding pieces that are rookies, that are, players that aren't familiar with our system, like the defensive tackle from Chicago and people like that. I think they need those practices to gel together and to, like I said, get on a more solid footing with the defense. That's just my take.
Okay. Now the general review says, Luke, as much as you don't like Patricia, his from that standpoint sure has rubbed off on you. It's not even it's not even that it rubbed off on me. It's just, hey, listen. When people make good points with logic, I'm just going. I respect it, and it's not emotion based. That's what I look for. I don't want the emotion based part of it. Tell me what's wrong in the factual stance of what's happening, and then we can talk about it. But yeah, I totally get it, and that's why I'm doing from this standpoint that you see me doing.
And that standpoint.
Right. So. Obviously, the Lions will still be able to, let me rephrase the question. Will the Lions still be able to evaluate players that can help this team win this year without being able to go on visits? We'll start this one off with you, Mr. Mike, let's hear what your thoughts are on this.
Okay, what's the question? Because I was not paying attention.
The question is, would the Lions still be able to evaluate players that can help this team win this year without being able to go out to visit them or have them come visit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Folks, they've been doing this for a whole year now. They've been evaluating talent when the college season started a while ago. This is not something that they're doing right now. They've been doing this for a whole year. The scouts have been doing it for a while. If they want to get an up close and personal when it comes to these players, it's simple. It's called Skype. It's called FaceTime. I mean, we have technology. This is 2020. This is not 1950. We have the ability to speak to players in multiple facets. It does not have to be face-to-face. They already know the board is fairly set, in my opinion, at this point. I think what does set it aside is Bob Quinn was generally really good at hiding who he would pick. He would not visit with players he would pick. Vice versa, when they would pick him, the players would have no idea the Lions were interested. I think that's off the table at this point because when they're looking at players, they're simply doing it by FaceTime and or, scouting through the tape and the information they already have. But other than that, yeah, don't worry about it. They already got a great idea who they're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. First and foremost, if you can't evaluate talent without them coming in for a visit or you pick up the phone, because apparently phones these days are like a rare thing. Like to actually pick a phone up is like hard. Like I gave my 7-year-old nephew a rotary phone and his whole world was just destroyed. He's like, what the hell is that? Just gave it to him just to see what he's gonna do with it. I gave him. Do anybody remember Walkmans? I said, yeah, what this is? And what he broke out and told me? He was like, some type of camera or spy device. I said, are you he clearly was in a place of comfortability.
Now, can I interrupt this really quick? Because I just got a message from one of my subscribers, and this has happened now for 2 weeks in a row. If you have not hit that bell icon, please do so. For some reason, our subscribers are not getting the bell and notifications that we are going live. I just received a bunch of comments on my video saying, hey, are you guys going live? I have not received it yet. So make sure to hit that bell for all the notifications for Luke's channel, all of our channels. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube and the algorithm. Make sure you hit that bell so when we do go live, you guys are great, good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Make sure you do it. Mike, take over for me.
Okay, so again, Andrew, do you think that we are going to be good when it comes to scouting these players for the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and Luke kind of really hit the nail on the head because if you're not able to scout players without having to go see them, then you got a serious problem, because 9 times out of 10, you can't go to all their games. You can't go see them work out, yeah, during combine season, you can have those individual workouts and stuff, but like you have to watch the tape. You have scouts going to certain games, throughout the year. Like you need to evaluate them based off their talent in game. Those individual workouts, stuff like that, yeah, they have some value, but not enough to really completely sway your decision making. So I'm so happy that we were one of the teams that were able to coach the Senior Bowl because we have an inside scoop. We have an advantage. Patricia and all of our coaches got to work with half the freaking players on the Senior Bowl, and we won that game. The players loved Patricia. All of them were super happy, everything meshed well, whatever, so like, I think we're at a huge advantage, and I don't think it's going to hinder our abilities to draft. If anything, it's going to help us out and give us that advantage because other teams didn't have the ability to go work with all these seniors, at the Senior Bowl. So I think it's going to be good. And I think that even before all this quarantine stuff happened and the shutdowns and everything, I think they already had a good idea of which players they like and, even like in the later rounds. So I think it's great.
You hit such a –
I'm back, Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate it, man. I am locked in my house. I seen that the interview said that they still free in Arizona. Must be nice. It's hot as hell, so who the hell want to go outside anyway? So, I mean, that's kind of a nature of the beast. But Yeah, I think you hit on some very good points too about it, and I think that most of these teams' draft boards be set. They just be want to talk to a few more people to feel more confident about taking that player. And to me, I just wonder if at any point in time that if a team is struggling because they didn't have this process, it makes me wonder: did you ever watch this thing called a football game that comes on Saturdays, sometimes Thursdays, maybe a occasional Friday, but if you don't have the film to tell you that person is a good pick, then I don't know what you're doing. I just don't. So to me, it had to be that way. Absolutely. Now, who did I forget? Because my son threw me off when he came up here asking about some YouTube.
I
Who
mean,
did I forget? I forgot Jim and J-Mo. So we'll start off with you, J-Mo. You know, do you think that this evaluation is going to be ruined because they can't do the visits?
Well, this is one topic that I will give the Lions credit on, because regardless of how bad the product on the field might be, I do think we're always prepared when it comes to figuring out which players we want. I know Bob Quinn is an ex-scout. He be scouting these players a year or two before, and then he does research on them, and then it comes where we want to draft these guys and we see what they're about. So I think, every player that we want, or at least 90% of them, we already have almost, basically 90% of the information on these guys. And you just might want to talk to a guy, look him in the eye, or things like that. But when you got, like you said, when you got football film to watch, and when you have scouts that's already been scouting these guys beforehand, I don't think it's going to affect us. I think, like I said, one thing about us, I do think we're organized when it comes to looking at draft picks and the players that we want, because it's been a lot of non-top draft picks or picks that weren't even drafted that we've been able to turn into something. So I think it's good for us because this is what we're used to, but it might be bad for some other less organized teams.
Okay. Oh, less organized team. I'm gonna leave that one alone. All right. like somebody's actually less organized than us. I'm just okay.
There's always a team that's worse.
Man, listen, it's so funny because I'm telling you, it's been a full-out assault on these former Patriot dudes. I mean, I saw something where Michael Irvin had to chime in on the DeAndre Hopkins trade, and what he said, I was like, is the absolute truth from the player's perspective. But I told you I don't want to talk about no damn coaches today. I can't. I can't. Jim, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that them not being able to visit or have visits come into the thing is going to have an effect on the Lions' evaluation for these draft picks?
No, because I wasn't really thinking they had such a thing in the first place. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm going to get something for that. But
I ain't mad at you. Go ahead.
I mean, you're not too far off. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say I was trying to think of any different angle on this because it's kind of all the same thing. The only thing I would think is that you don't get that presence and that vibe of someone as a person as they're sitting right across from you, how they act, their mannerisms, body language. It doesn't make a huge bit of difference, but you might be able to pick up some red flags you wouldn't have picked up normally. That's the only thing I think is a difference here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the evidence suggests that this is not a panic thing. It's just, and the truth, let's be honest with the people for a moment. Before this thing became something that they can make TV revenues off of, this was done behind the door. You didn't know who your new players was until they showed up and you got a program from the game. So they're not in the caveman era to not know how to evaluate talent from that standpoint. Now, as we get closer to this NFL draft, what is the one move that you would like to see the Lions do before the draft, J-Mo?
I get another damn guard. Like, I'm not satisfied. Now, I can't remember this guy's name, but I saw the name and I looked up the player. And my point is, there is still a good guard out there that can be good for us. Can't remember the guy's name right now.
In free agency?
Yes. We need to get him. We need to get him.
Do you know?
I don't. He had one of them big V type names, and I just looked at the name and just looked it up, and I'm like, okay, he's okay. He's better than Ibushi. Like, I'm not satisfied with the guards. I know we're going to draft players, but you don't know what draftees are going to do unless they're Quentin Nelson. Like, so I'm just not comfortable with us not having another veteran guard. That's actually not Ibushi. You know, I'm not comfortable at all. So go out there and get a guard. And if I see another Lions post about getting a receiver, I'm gonna snap on y'all. We don't need no more wins.
You know this fan base love their receivers. Don't do them like that.
Bruh, we loaded at all skills positions and they still want receivers. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with y'all?
Don't do them like that. Don't do the people like that. Andrew, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, what is that one move that you really would love to see the Lions do before the draft?
I want to go and get a playmaker on the defense. Don't get me wrong. I love everything we did with the Patriots and the signings. You know, I think we definitely upgraded overall. But I want to go see someone. I want to go grab someone that's a disruptive playmaker on the defensive line. We already have Trey Flowers. You know, I love him. I love how he ended up towards the later half of the season. We have Deshaun Hand, who is very promising. You know, we brought in Shelton, Nick Williams. I want to see a Yannick Ngakoue. Go spend some money. You know, if you have to put a pick in the trade or something, go get someone like that. I want a very dominant defensive line. You know, I'm sick of, well, we have this person that's just kind of a system player. System players don't get it done. You know, I want dominant players. That's why I was happy we got Harmon. I was happy we got Jamie Collins. Danny Shelton, you know, he's young, he's hungry, and we got him for cheap, and he fit very well in the system on top of being productive. I want a dominant freak athlete, and I think Yannick Ngakoue or potentially, you know, Chris Jones. I know he got franchise tag, but I want to go get them. I want to go change our defense. You know, I want someone that's going to put fear in the offensive line of other teams. I want to mess up game plans. You know, I want change of pace. I'm sick of the same old shit of, well, this guy's good in the system. Well, I know this guy's slow, but, you know, he can kind of do this one thing in this certain scheme. No, I want good players.
Man,
you want us to get Clowney, huh? You want Clowney, huh?
No, I don't want Clowney. I don't want Clowney. I want
Yannick. Man. Hold up now.
No, but it's funny because I may be wrong, but did I hear your dog bark in the background to like support what you just said? Did I hear that?
Hey, if you're hearing a dog, dude, I don't know because I don't have no dog.
I heard a dog in the background. I'm like, did I just hear a dog in the background? Okay. Let me play a little devil's advocate, Andrew. I'm gonna pick on you a little bit because I want to see how strong your resolve is about this.
All right, but
what if the offer was we want a second in this year's draft for Ngakoue?
Straight up with nothing else? Straight
up.
Yeah, the dude's young. He's productive. Now let's put it this way: you can go get a second round pick. You know, let's say you get Lewis. What's his name? The guy from Michigan, you know, you get that guard, or you get AJ Epinenza, who I don't care. You can get any player in the second round, right? That does not guarantee that they're going to produce in the NFL. Even if you have the number 1 overall pick, that does not guarantee that that player is going to produce in the NFL. You know, it does guarantee production, actually going out and seeing it. Yannick Ngakoue is dominant. The dude is a good defensive lineman. I want him on my team. I'd rather have a player that has proven himself than a college athlete that has shown that he has flashed in college games or in bowl games. That doesn't mean crap. There's a lot of college athletes that come out of college and suck it every single year. And I don't care if you're a top 10 pick. I don't care if you're a 7th round pick. Happens all the time. So I want proven value.
Andrew, you said he was a good player, so you willing to give up a second round for a good player, not a great player?
Hold up, Yannick is a great player. I said good.
Okay, I'm trying to see where you at, man.
Hey, they're synonyms, bro. They're synonyms. You know what I'm saying?
They are not synonyms. All
right. I'll choose my wording better, JMO. Jeez.
Yeah, I like to say, oh, you just want a good guy. Oh, so you want to trade Flowers or something like this? Okay. I just had to see what you said.
I see what you did there.
I know. I love trade, but I'm just saying.
He say he's a good player. I just want to see how strong he felt about it that he's willing to give up a second, because I sure as hell wouldn't. I just wouldn't do it. To me, I get the purpose of what you're saying about getting the guy that you know what you're going to get, but I'm not giving him no second round pick for it. Now, Abdullah Terrell says, what do you guys think about the NCAA telling Trevor Lawrence to shut down his GoFundMe site for virus victims because they say he's violating rules by profiting off of his image or likeness?
Oh my god,
bro! It's
Okay.
for a fundraiser.
I'm
Like,
sick of
what?
the NCAA, bro.
How's
You
he
about to have me
profiting?
slap.
Well,
Oh.
here's the thing. He's profiting because if it's not Trevor Lawrence, are people really going to be like, oh, let's just go to this random site and donate? No, probably not. But I mean,
He's not making money though.
no, he's not. But they're saying that his likeness is generating funds, and we don't know where those funds are going because there's nobody tracking it.
You know, there's
Oh.
just millions of people who do not have work right now, and they're worried about this when he's trying to help people pay for a living wage. Yeah, NC double bullshit.
Well, they don't have
No, man,
nothing
the
else to
NBA
do right
They've
now.
been trying to bully. They've been bullying players for a while, and this is
Yeah.
more than bullying players. Like, yeah, we're gonna bully you. Oh, I don't care if you helping these starving families eat. You using your likeness. Get it off. I hate them. As I swear, I could not. I'm gonna stop. I cannot stand the NCAA when they do stuff like this, man.
Well, they doing it. So, you know, it's one of them things where you have to look at it and say, you know, what's really going on here. And I didn't know that they were doing this, to be honest with you. But now that I hear that they are, man, that's intriguing. I put it like this. Is it surprising? No. Is this what they've been doing? Yes. Should we be shocked that they're doing this? No. One of the reasons we don't even got NCAA football is because Robert Griffin was like, yo, Robert Griffin and a few other players was like, so y'all gonna put my face on the cover, but I get no money from it?
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts on it overall is this is typical NCAA. Like, there are things that people don't realize. Like, there are certain drinks that you can't even drink. I used to love me some Sobe. You can't. It's certain Sobeys you can't drink because they have masking agents for certain things that they test for. Or vitamin water. There are certain things in vitamin water that have it. So, you know, is it hot garbage at what they're doing? Yeah, but ultimately we know what we sign up for, and so I don't believe in signing up for something and then complaining about it afterwards. Like, oh, you know, like the police officer who was like, I didn't sign up to get shot at, but you did. Like, you literally did. Your whole purpose was to enforce the law, so you signed up for exactly just that. So. But yeah, that sucks, man. Overall, I think that is terrible. But I think there's a better way for him to run that without his name being on it and his name still being attached to it, and it'd be good. So I get it. And one of the reasons they do that is because some teams will use fundraisers like to be like, oh, this player is raising money for this, but they're using that money to go to the player. So they've gotten hip to a lot of the tactics that people have used, and so that's why you're seeing the kids themselves suffering. But I can tell you, as a person who played in college, it was hard in these streets. A lot of days hungry, and you know, wondering like, yo, where am I get that next meal from if my parents didn't have the money to get me food? So you could be in school on a scholarship, does not mean you eating on a regular basis. It's just FYI. Now to get back on topic, to me, the one move that I would love to see the Lions do before the draft is simply put, and I still think it's time to do it, is, and I hate to say this, God, I hate to say this, bro, we really need to just like go ahead and chalk that money up and move on from Matthew Stafford. I think this is the one move I want to see because I'm ready for Stafford to have a chance to do something somewhere else. And I just feel like going into this year, if I want no excuses, I don't want anything to be in the way for management or any type of leadership to say I didn't have this or I didn't have that. I want you to get everything that you want so we can get it out of the way. And for me, that would be trading Matthew Stafford so he can have a chance to get everything that he wants. Because I don't think it's fair for him to go through another rebuild. I just don't. That's my take on it. I know some of y'all are not going to agree with it. I know some of y'all are going to be like, what? Get rid of Stafford? Yes.
Luke, I think it's going to happen in the next year or two. So, don't hold your breath. It won't take too long.
Well, I think in the next year or two makes sense. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to take the quarterback, because I was like, look, you take him, he's going to sit for 2 years anyway. And if this coaching staff is not here, it's like, what in the world? But I'm at the point now. Chris Cashball said college taught me how to live off 2 McChickens and 6 packs of Raymond's a day. I feel you on that.
I love ramen noodle.
But I'm at a point now where I'm feeling for the player, and I think I think that what you're going to start to see more and more coming out is people starting to reject coming to places that they don't want to play for. And I think it's going to be trending. And once that trend starts, then, it's no way of getting around it. But that's just me. And if they do it, then cool. But I don't think it's fair to him to go through this again. I mean, getting the back broke and still being told, go out there and play.
Yeah, wow. It's a difficult situation for him getting traded to like the Patriots. I mean, it would do him well for his career. But it would suck for us because I want him on our team. This guy came in after 0-16, threw Detroit on his back and said, let's go. And he broke a bunch of ligaments in his shoulders doing so and times in his back. So I want to see him win a playoff game. Yep. A thing that I would like to be done before the NFL draft is very simple. Re-sign and sign Kenny G. It is time to pay the man. He is the wide receiver for the Lions for the next 5 years. I want to see him locked up. I don't even want to be thinking about it next year. Lock him up, pay the man. He's doing acrobatic catches. He's doing everything that we want him and much more from a 3rd-round pick. Lock him up, and make him a wide receiver for the Lions for years to come.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that there's so many things that can be done to go in a certain way. And like I said, I know people are like thinking I'm crazy, but blue and silver, Marcus Golden. Somebody say you are.
Yes, I didn't do it.
Yes, you are.
Okay, talk to me. Why am I crazy? Why am I crazy for saying
because this is look, you being crazy actually don't got much to do with you. Because I had the same conversation with Jim. We at the point where we want to trade Stafford, not because it's a good thing, it's because we just want to set him free. And I told Jim I'm really down on the Lions this year because I can't watch Stafford go through another season of carrying the team and then getting blamed at the end of the year.
Right.
But I know how you feel, but I want to win football games. And if it's not getting Trevor Lawrence, I'm not trading Stafford. Now, if you want to trade Stafford to get Trevor Lawrence, all right, let's do it. But if it ain't Trevor, no.
Listen, I'm with you. Blue and Silver says Marcus Golden is a free agent. He has 75 tackles and 10 sacks. I mean, that sounds good, but you can only add so many people to this team. And the question becomes, is this somebody that they should add? I don't get hyped up over the sacks. I think sacks are cool, but I like the guys who just disrupt the pocket. Like what Cameron Jordan does for the Saints. It's not always on the stat sheet. He creates havoc to where the pocket is never comfortable, and that's huge. What Ndamukong Suh do is not on the stat sheet. Like when he hit that field, you better pay attention to him. That's the only reason why Shaq Barrett got all them sacks, because they were so busy watching Ndamukong Suh. So it's one of the things that you look at, and then go and look at Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald without Suh was back to Aaron Donald form, but with Suh he had even more sacks and even more pressures and even more everything. So it's one of the things that you got to look at and say, okay. James DeKai says, Luke, what if Stafford wants to stay here, and that's the reason why he is not traded? I mean, if he wants to stay here, that's cool. I'm cool with it. But some of the stories that came out, I'm starting to realize that this stuff ain't just general people making stuff up. It came from somewhere, and it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't want to stay here though, or he would be gone. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that he wants to stay here, but I think what the conversation that he has in the public and what he has with his wife are two different things. And to me, I think that's where we got to look at it a little bit different, in my opinion.
I
So
want to see the man hold a trophy. I feel like out of all the individuals in the NFL, he's one of the most underrated players, as well as humble, a guy who wants to play for Detroit. Think about that. It's extremely rare. I want to see the man hold the Lombardi trophy. I would
at least
love to
an
see
NFC
it.
or AFC championship.
Yeah, man. I mean, I want to see it, man. I want to see it. I'm a Stafford fan, and I would love to see it. Hopefully, it's for Detroit, though. That would be nice.
I mean, he will hold the trophy just once he's done here. We acting like he got an 8-year contract. In 2 years, he's gone, regardless if we trade him or he's a free agent. So
Yeah, but
we will get to see that eventually.
that bad back may not hold up for 2 more years.
Man,
K-Man
they held
sees
up for
if the Redskins take Isaiah Simmons, do you think the Lions are going to take Chase Young or trade back with Miami and take Okuda or Brown or old lineman at Luke G? I think it's going to be an offensive lineman. I think they're going to add more offensive lineman depth. And I can see it because I don't think that they're really sold on Taylor Decker. So yeah, they picked up that 5th-year option, but that's in case they can't get the offensive tackle that they want. So he's a placeholder right now. So now that the Lions, have completed their free agency, we know what they did already in free agency. And we'll start this off with you, Jim. What percentage are you giving the Lions on selecting a player at the following positions: linebacker, defensive end, D tackle, cornerback, or offensive line? So if the Lions are sitting there with their pick in the first round, tell me the pick that they make position wise and the percentage you think is going to happen.
Okay. This is what I think they will do, not what I would want to do.
Okay.
I do think they trade down with Miami, and my percentage is about 70% corner at this point. I think they take Okuda.
Okay.
And it's just because it's a position of need, and I believe that if they trade down, they'll have more picks and they can address the other issues later. And I think they feel like Okuda could fit their defense pretty well and be a corner for years to come for us.
Now, then some says, are you guys taking calls tonight? No. So what I'm gonna do is this: I'm going to go and get this phone line set up. I probably have to do a smaller group, but when it's like 5 or 6 of us, it's a little bit harder to take the phone calls and host the show. So I have to figure out something with the fellas and figure out how we can do it to get this to work appropriately. But for me, I just really want to do it in a way where it's smooth and you guys get your phone calls in and not have any problems.
And as well, when it comes to phone calls, I'm considering doing a live show. I used to do a Subscriber Friday where I'd just simply take all questions from the subscribers, possibly go live maybe one day a week, simply just doing phone calls and talking to you guys, the subscribers.
Yep, that's another good idea. So trust me, that phone line is coming back. Make no mistake about it, it is coming back. All right, J-Mo, what percentage are you putting on this? We know what they did in free agency. What percentage are you putting on them taking a linebacker, a DN, a D tackle, or a cornerback or offensive lineman? Again, tell me the pick that you think they're going to make and what percentage are you putting it? We got 75% from one Jim for a cornerback.
I mean, I think it all depends on if Isaiah Simmons is gone before 3 or not. I can't, I'm not really that confident he will be gone, but if the Redskins, for some odd reason, take him, then it's like, do we want to take Chase Young or do we want to trade down? And I think they would. I'm about 60% sure they'll trade down, and then once they trade down, they'll get an O lineman and a D lineman. You can pick and choose whichever one that you would like to satisfy your. But once we trade down, I think we get that O lineman and D lineman. I'm like 85% sure because Okuda comes into play, but we have Amani Oruwariye, and I really think he's going to get an opportunity this year.
Yeah. Plus, he was one of the people last year who they had multiple visits with, and the fact that he fell to the 5th, they couldn't believe it. In fact, that's their exact words. We couldn't believe he fell to the 5th round. Every time we thought he was going to be gone, he wasn't. So finally, it was like, hey, we got to take him because they're passing on him. So I think you make a very good point there, Andrew. What position do you think they take, and what percentage you put on them that's the position that they're taking?
Man, I have a really hard time with this. So I am a very big advocate of taking Simmons. but in all of my entire life, they have never drafted the player I have wanted. So, with that being said, safety is at like 5% for me, man. I don't think they're going to take Simmons, especially with how many safeties not only we have on our team, but, you know, we brought in a couple people, and I think it's roughly 50-50 split. 30% chance we take cornerback, 30% chance we take D lineman, and that other 40% is pretty much mixed with offensive tackle and linebacker and safety. So I think it's going to potentially be Derek Brown or Okudah.
Okay. All right. Mike.
I'm going to go. I did a mock draft just the other day, and I had the Lions trading down from 3 to 5. And with the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL draft, I had the Lions taking Jeffrey Okudah. I would give him at this point right now a 65% chance likelihood that we draft him. I would give probably a 25% chance if Isaiah Simmons, and 5% chance when it comes to Derek Brown, and the rest 5% would be, I guess, I don't know, an offensive lineman. But I have a real good feeling that now with the moves, again, just like Andrew was stating, that we're going to go ahead and secure that cornerback spot with Okudah opposite of Monty Warrior, Coleman, and Trufant, and fill that spot that Slay's now in.
Well, I love all you gentlemen because I think y'all all made very good points, and I think that each point that y'all made is valid. But I'm still sticking with my pick, and I'm going 75% that they're taking Isaiah Simmons, and here's why. Isaiah Simmons isn't just a safety. He isn't just a linebacker. Isaiah Simmons is every defensive coordinator's dream. Literally. He's literally every defensive coordinator's dream. Why? Because no matter where I put him at, you don't know what he's playing. You have no clue. You can't base your defense off where he's at. He could be lined up at the Mike linebacker and you not even know it because you think he's the in-box safety. He is literally the pick of the platter. You know, some people like vanilla. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like strawberry. But imagine if they could just find a way to create an ice cream with all three. Oh, wait, they have. See, this is what happens. This guy gives them every opportunity to play around with it. And I agree with James DeKai. Cornerback is not a position of need. It's just not. It's just not. And to me, it just boils down to the simple fact of taking that playmaker you talked about, Andrew, taking the people. We just assume because Slay gone, we taking another cornerback. Nope, don't see that. The head coach does not believe that he's in a win now system. He believes that he's in a build mode, so he's going to take players that he can build off of. What's more special than a guy that can play those positions? I think that first pick goes to the defensive player, Isaiah Simmons. I think offensive linemen get the remaining 20%, and the 5%, you can break it up how you see fit. The evidence suggests that he's going to go for the playmaker. We don't have any playmakers on this team right now. We don't have any studs out there on this team right now that stand out. And I think that we are at a point where this team is just going to say, bump it, get the talent first and foremost. So for me, it just makes sense. I mean, look at this. Name all our linebackers right now.
Davis, Jones, Tavai, Collins. Those are the main four.
Okay.
You said Jones almost threw up.
I know, right?
Hey, I feel you. I feel you.
So for me, it just boiled down to there's still a spot for him on his team because we need an inside linebacker. So we know that they're going to be using Collins on the outside. Jelani Tavai is going to be on the outside, and the other guys are going to be scattered around. We still need an inside linebacker. Isaiah Simmons can play that. So I'm just saying, food for thought. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, because I do have to get up in the morning, you know what? No, we can do the last two questions. I'll push it. We can do the last two questions, and I'll try to get it over with quick. Now that we so let's talk about the Lions' identity. What do you think the Lions' identity is going to be this upcoming season, Mike?
Ooh, this is a really extraordinary question here. The Lions' identity. I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but the identity is going to be balanced with the offense. They will finally be balanced when it comes to the run and pass. You're going to see a team that can finally run on the ground and complement the pass game. And you could be noticing a team that has the ability to go up and down the field and consistently fool defenses with their ability to pass as well as run.
All right, what say you, J-Mo? What's going to be the team identity this season?
I'm gonna paint a picture. The Lions are like that best friend that you hate. They always doing something. They always getting into accidents, but you will not let them go. The identity of this team will be the Lions hanging from a bridge about to die, and Matthew Stafford refusing to let his hand go, even though he got shot 10 times.
Wow,
That's the identity of the team.
so graphic.
Matthew Stafford, please save us. That's gonna be the identity of the team until further notice.
Okay, Andrew, what do you think the identity of this team is going to be?
Hey, man, I just got to comment on J-Mo's comment. J-Mo, I mean, I feel you, man, and I totally get it because we had such a bad 2 seasons. But you got to have some more hope than that, man.
I mean, Matthew Stafford's been saving the team since he got here.
Yeah, no, I mean, those are facts. But as far as identity, I think we're definitely trying to be more balanced, like Mike said. But I think we're also going to try and be more of an aggressive team in terms of our fronts, our O-line, D-line. I think we're going to try and get a lot more aggressive so we can be more of a smash mouth football team, old school,
Okay. Mike, what do you think this team's identity is going to be? Yep. Jim, what do you think this team
I thought he already went.
Yeah, he already went.
Oh, hey, listen, I told you it's been a long day. Jim, what do you think this identity is going to be?
Wow.
Tell the truth, shame the devil, Jim. Don't tell the truth, shame the devil. How you see fit. What's the identity?
Clark Kent. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Right. He on the same wavelength as I am, bro. He like, Superman, come save us.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not. That's all I've got. That's all I got, man. I just don't. I don't see it. Maybe other people do, but I don't. And it is what it is. It's Clark Kent. Clark Kent, who's kind of like the alter ego of Superman. At certain points we could change it to being Superman, but man, for the most part, we're Clark Kent, clumsy, can't get out of our own way. Stuff like that. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What about? I'll tell you how I've pictured this identity going. Honestly, I think that this is going to be a offensive team first, a balanced offense. I am still on the wait and see jury for the defense, and we'll see what they do from there. Now, at this point in the show, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we take your questions. So we'll answer any questions that you have. You put them in there, and we'll do it. Mike, are you back yet? Mike, no. Jim, can you take over for me really quick? I just got to tend to my child really quick.
Sure, I'll take over.
Any questions you see that stand out, put them out there for me, okay?
All right.
All right, thanks.
Hey, while this is going on, I just want to take this second to say all of those of you watching, hit that like button, subscribe to our channels, Obviously, everyone's bored right now, so let us entertain you, be a part of the community, ask questions, post your feeds, your comments, we like interacting with you guys, so just take that second.
Yeah, definitely. And anybody's got a question out there, we're here to answer it for you. And we got the whole panel here for you. Well, most of us.
I wanted to say, make sure you guys subscribe to Jim's channel, because the next roundtable, we gonna have a lot of special things going on Thursday. It will be on his channel. So you want to subscribe and you want to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the show. Because when you out here on Thursday and there ain't no show to watch, and I told y'all to go subscribe, it's gonna be y'all fault. So that's all I wanted to say.
So we got a question, actually. So Ed Whiting said, if we take Simmons, who is our starting 11, and name the players and the spot? I mean, this is kind of a tough question because we throw a couple different schemes out. You know, we don't just have one base scheme. Like we're not just 3-4 defense. Sometimes they do go 4-3. So it's hard. But I mean, obviously Flowers is a starter at the DN, potentially inside defensive tackle spot. You know, you have Danny Shelton, who's obviously going to be starter. True Front's a starter. Tracy Walker is a starter. Tavai and Davis.
Harmon.
Yeah, Justin Coleman, Harmon, and Deshaun Hand and Aware. Those are probably all of our starters.
And you could play a 3 safety defense too. Patricia likes that as well.
Yeah,
especially if you're using Simmons.
So him being on the field, he can play linebacker, but you can. The one special thing about getting him is like you don't have to take players off the field, and you could just be like, all right, Simmons, I need you to go in the back real quick.
Exactly.
Like that's just like, oh man, you can't just tell a player to do something like that. But K-Man season is right. We do play a lot of nickel. That's why exactly. I think Justin Coleman and Amara Warrior he can play nickel too. So and he's actually pretty solid at it compared to on the outside. So I think they'll play around with that a lot. But with the defensive tackles, I don't know which defensive lineman we're going to take in a draft or how high we'll take him. So he might be a starter depending on where we take him and how good he is.
Yeah, we got a question from Ghost Gunner. If we do end up taking a tackle, which one would you guys want? And I think he's talking about the draft.
Yeah.
I'll go to, let's say, Mike.
Okay, well, if we were to end up taking a tackle, I think getting Becton would be a really good idea. He's a big guy. I know he's not the most ready guy right now, day one starter, but I feel like his ceiling is much higher than the rest of the linemen in this draft.
That's good. Good answer. If we draft Chase Young, then do we switch to a 3-4, blue and silver? J-Mo, what do you think?
4-3. Well, he said, do we switch to a 4-3?
Yeah.
If we draft Chase Young, I actually do think we're going to switch to a 4-3. And this is why Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia wants players that have versatility. If you know anything about Chase Young, you know he excels in a 4-3. 3-4 doesn't allow him to play to the best of his abilities. We get a pick that high, we're going to allow him to play to the best of his abilities. And guys like Tavai and Jamie Collins specifically, they can play a 4-3 or a 3-4 or a 5-2 or whatever you need them to play. So I think we definitely would switch our scheme a little bit, but some days we will play that 3-4.
Yeah, I'm back. Thanks a lot for holding it down for me, man. I'm still on parenting duties.
That's okay.
So got to make sure that the kids is okay. I don't think that we're going to a 4-3 at all. I can't tell you the last time that the New England Patriots were in a 4-3 traditionally as a base defense. I just don't see it. They've used variations of the 4-3 at times, but getting Chase Young does not mean we're going to a 4-3. It just means that some people who are here now is probably going to get walking papers later. So I don't see that to be the case. What other questions we got out there in this building, people? Let's bring them on in. I'm loving it. Beckton is nice. He's the top 10 player. Okay. Do you guys prefer we draft? Because I believe we will take one of these guys, Uchis or Anai. I don't think we take neither of those guys, honestly. Here's my reason why. I think they're going to take 2 players from the Senior Bowl. It's just not those 2. I think Anai would be gone well before that. And I think Uchich would be gone well before we pick. And they're not going to take
on Uche or whatever, because I'm a Michigan fan. I'm not that high on him.
Uche.
I'm not high on him neither, but then again, hey.
I watched like every game, and I felt like other players was allowing him to make the plays that he made. It wasn't him. It was like other players getting a double team. Now he got a one-on-one. But we'll see how good he turns out.
Hey, I feel you. I feel you. Funky Nut says, Luke, if you want to try and break down the defense I see us going with, you can. Oh, God, what did you say? Because I agree with you. I know New England does it. But I know New England. Man, you listen. When my kids start talking, I tune in and see what's going on, because when kids get quiet, something ain't right. So I know that my ears are tuned in. You know what? Right now, fucking up. I cannot remember what you were saying. I apologize. It'll come back to me, but I'll definitely talk about it at another time. Luke G, what do you think of Jordan Elliott? Jordan Elliott. Why am I drawing a blank on who this is? I'm drawing a blank on who Jordan Elliott is. If he's at a school or on an NFL team, please refresh me. So I can kind of get a trigger. I remember the names afterwards, but I remember the team and their numbers first. So that's how I'm able to remember who did what.
He's the Missouri defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's out of Missouri.
Okay. So now I'm on board with you. I like him better than the TCU guy, Ross Blacklock or whatever his name is. I like him better than him. I don't like him better than Neville Gallimore. I just think Neville Gallimore is like a different beast, in my opinion. Would you sign Clowney if he's asking for $12 million a year? Ooh, we're gonna talk this one right over there to you, Andrew, since you willing to give up second round picks for people.
So I actually would not, and here's my reasoning. When he played in a 4-3 at Houston, very dominant. When he switched to a 3-4 defense, which is the primary scheme that we run, he doesn't play that well. You know, when he went to Seattle, he hasn't played that well because their scheme is not fit for his type of talent. Just like you said, you know, he's better in a 4-3. A lot of defensive ends are better in the 4-3, and there's good reason for it. So I wouldn't bring him for $12 million because we wouldn't be utilizing him to the best of his abilities. So it'd be kind of pointless.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't see that coming. I
know you didn't, Luke, because you tried to set me up, dog.
I see. You threw it right back. You went full counter like you was on 7 Deadly Sins. Okay, I see what you did. All right.
You know I stay ready, baby.
Hey, so let's see. Listen, let me just read this comment really quick. Just because I think that is interesting. This is Michael Irvin talking about the Houston Texans, Bill O'Brien, and he says, take it from Michael Irvin. This is what he said. He said, it's not about the X's and O's. To get the most out of your players, you got to get into their souls. This is what Irvin told USA Today Sports, reflecting on the bravado that stems from the relationship between Texans coach Bill O'Brien and all-pro receiver DeAndre Hopkins. He says, you can't be in the position if you can't deal with people. Maybe you think it's stunning that Irvin, of all people, is qualified to tell us how a coach can succeed. He's never coached it down. Yet Irvin, who earned a Hall of Fame bust and 3 Super Bowl rings with the Dallas Cowboys, has got significant experience explaining what's going on between players and coach relationship. This is what Irvin says. He was the talent who responded to every coaching style until this guy got here. The problem does not lie in the player, it lies with the coach. He goes on to say that was an emotional hurdle to see a guy of his caliber get traded for nothing and to get traded for no reason other than for that player to disagree with the way things were heading. People, I'm going to stop it right there because I can take it a little bit further on how I go, and I know that this stuff is crazy, but this is the last piece I'm going to give you. It says O'Brien was even cited for saying to him, and I didn't know that this happened per se, people, but I'm pretty sure I've heard about this, that something to the effect that he haven't had this many problems since Aaron Hernandez. So my point to read that is to say this, people. Coaching or any form of leadership needs to know how to work with the people that they are coaching or being leaders with. And I just wanted to put that out there. This is just the way that the reality is. And the reason I bring that up is because right now we are at a point where most of us are locked in our house. We can't really go and do much of nothing. Most of the things that we usually enjoy and do are closed. And so the ones who are still trying to bring some peace and some normalcy to what is going on are doing it right now. All I ask is that you support those people, because right now that entertainment that they're doing, they're taking that time that they can possibly be sleep, spring cleaning, catching up on Netflix or Hulu or whatever they're doing, and they're coming to you with this one. It's just about being able to deal with people and talk to people, whether you agree or disagree. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get our final thoughts going because, like I said, I have to work. And I know Mike has to work, and so does everybody else. So we'll start this thing off with you, Mr. Heart of the City. What's your final thoughts for the people?
I just want to say Bill Belichick proved everything Michael Irvin said, because look at those Patriots rosters, a bunch of trash, and they win Super Bowls. So it's about the players. I know what happened with Darius Slay and Matt Patricia, and all I'm gonna say is I love that Matt Patricia Senior is getting even hotter. It gives me a thrill of the ride. So we gonna really see if he put up or shut up. But shout out to all of the fans in the chat, everybody that came through to come talk with us, because like all we got is these shows now, since we can't watch any play on the field. And with the Lions, I'm just with a wait and see approach. We gonna see what happens. They gotta prove to me something. They gotta prove to me that they can be a good team, and we gonna see what Matt Patricia do. We gonna see.
Ben Diesel says, do you guys have any favorite late round sleeper picks or draft? I like Cole McDonald. I like Antonio Gandy Golden. I like let's see. I like Lamar Jackson. I got a few of them, to be honest with you. I can go on and on. And then
Peoples Jones, the wide receiver.
I don't think he's gonna be late though. I think he'll be like a third to fourth.
Yeah, I'd say Ronald McDonald. I think he'll do a really good job.
Oh, that clown!
I'm loving it.
Ed Whiten says, will Bevel use more 2 tight end sets this year, and stop passing to the fullback? He better, or we're gonna have problems. Yeah. Let's pat that on down the list. Andrew, what's your final thoughts for the people?
Hey, I just want to thank everyone for, tuning in. And I really got to give a shout out to my man, Jim, Lions on the Prowl. Look him up, subscribe, as well as everyone else in the DSA. But he is our newest member. So show him some love. And he will be hosting the Roundtable this Thursday, y'all. I'm pretty sure it's 8 p.m. If I'm wrong, then you'll be a little late to the show.
8 p.m. Or they'd be an hour early.
Yeah, he said you'll be a little late. I ain't mad at you. Mr. Jim, what is your final thoughts for the people?
This day and age, we're living in an unprecedented time, and there's a lot of fear out there, and there's a lot of anxiety over what's going on. We're being trapped in our homes, basically. We can't do a lot of things, and a lot of the people that are on here have big hearts for everybody, and we just want to support our team, and have a good show and have everybody have entertainment and fun. I just ask you, don't take it too seriously, because right now we don't need all that stress. That was it.
Yeah, no.
Greatest ending of all time.
I literally got caught, and I'm like, dang, he took me down that road with him. I'm with you, man. I just wanted to be sure. How you
clap?
You was right. You was in your bag. I was like, Lord, gee, he got me ready for the the violins to come up. But okay, we back. All right. Last but certainly not least is Mr. Micro Mike. What are your final thoughts for the people?
Man, again, humbled you guys came out. This is awesome. We are our one unit, and we're going into this and getting ready for the NFL draft in a month. Man, season's approaching very, very quickly, and it's exciting because it's a new start for us. Again, wash your hands and continue to wash them more so you guys don't get sick. And I think that's more important than anything else. Just trying to get something else out to the folks instead of stupid COVID-19, because we're all tired of hearing about it and rather talk football. With that said, folks, please don't be no chump, and please wash your damn hands.
You can't beat that PSA. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know that we truly enjoy the support, and this is one of the reasons why we show up every week for you to be able to get your football conversations in. Since we all locked in the house, I'm going to get these phone lines up, and I'm going to get them going again. So y'all can call in and put your thoughts on the paper. I know these phone lines are going to be blowing up because everybody's in the house today. So, but I like to always end the show on a positive note. And today's message is a simple one. hurt people is what they say. And right now we all hurting. Everybody is on lockdown, like Akon in a great video, and they won't let us out. And there are better ways to do things with your time. This is that time and that moment for you to take a second to reflect on why or what it is that you could be doing with your time that you've been putting off for so long. Maybe you've been meaning to fix something in the house. Take this time to do it. Maybe you've been meaning to catch up on a book. Take this time to do it. But remember in the time that you take that this is all the time that you need to do what's called simple self-care. This is your free will, your free moment to self-care for yourself in the peace and the beauty of your own home. Make sure you take advantage of that time, people. Make sure you don't look at this as a negative. Make sure that you keep a perspective that may not be the same as everybody else, but just right for you. Make sure that you just simply take care of yourself. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Definitely make sure you subscribe to Jim's channel because we're going to be on his channel on Thursday. So if you're not subscribed, you're going to miss it. And if you have not already, please make sure you hit that notification bell so that way when we post things in the community post to let you know what's going on, you will be able to get that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research.